Hey, my name is Thomas and today I'd like to show you my Olympus OM-1. I already made a video about this camera some weeks ago when I bought it. Back then it needed some repairs, so it was sort of a project camera, and now it's returned finally. In my previous video I told you that I think there were just some pieces of foam that were loose and got into the light path of the viewfinder, but as it turned out it was a fault of the prism itself, so foam fell on the top of the prism. And thus you got this weird effect when looking through the finder. So OM Labor in Frankfurt offered me a replacement prism, brand new, never used, and also an almost as new top cover to replace the original one with a nasty dent at the side. Now I've got a perfect camera, and compared to Leica prices, also still a very cheap one. We're here in Cologne, it's called Wahner Heide. It's the closest nature park-like thing to the city of Cologne. It's very close to the airport actually, and this was an old place for army operations and testing. Because of the proximity to the airport you can't build houses here, so this area was always spared, and as it turned out, an amazing amount of pretty rare species of plants and birds and insects and whatnot else are happily living here. So it's a very cool place, definitely worth a visit. It's got some forest areas and also some pretty open landscapes that are very interesting to see. With open I mean you still see trees, but they are like there's a big space between the trees. There are various reasons for why the landscape looks like that, but it's also currently it's just a very good place for a lot of rare species. So what I'm doing today is I'm roaming around here at Vana Heide today. This camera is loaded with Ilford Delta 100 black and white film, T-grain film, so pretty fine grain. As you can see, I also brought a yellow filter to get more depth into the shots and to make the skies a little bit more detailed. Let's just see what I find. So black and white landscape photography, that's something special, I have to say, because all the beautiful colors you can't record. So you have to sort of concentrate on structures and forms instead, and shadows and lights and stuff like that. I'm pretty new in this. I've photographed all of my life, but only in color basically. So I'm sort of curious how this all will turn out. So yeah, what's the OM-1 about? Designed by Maitani of Olympus. He was apparently a real genius. He managed to squeeze in all the mechanical components of a almost professional SLR camera into this tiny body. This camera doesn't need any batteries, save for the light meter. There's a very similar model, the OM-2, that does need batteries because it's got an automatic shutter, automatic exposure. It's also a very interesting camera. But the OM-1 is the more simple model, and it's also got some nice features. The shutter itself is just 1/1000th of a second to 1 second plus B, so it's fairly standard for early 70s. The shutter dial, as you see, it's here mounted at the lens mount, which I find very convenient to operate and also easy to read because you see the shutter speed here on the top. This dial here, it's for the ISO, for the light meter. The lenses, the OM lenses, they're also very compact, and they all have the aperture ring at the front of the barrel, so a bit similar to Leicas, really. What else have we got? We've got this thing here. There goes a flash shoe on top of it. I don't use a flash, so I left it at home. Of course, also the flash connector for your studio flash. You've got self-timer, standard, and what you've got is a mirror lockup. This is this little switch here, which is very good if you use a tripod. Also, you can change the focusing screens in this camera. It's a very, very great viewfinder. It's got a simple match needle-like light meter in the bottom left of the viewfinder image. The only maybe bad point is there is no indication of your shutter speed in the viewfinder. So when you adjust your shutter speed, you have to do it before you look through the camera. That's about it. Not a lot else to say. The lenses have this little button here. It's built in the lens, not in the camera. It's for your depth of field preview. The metering, of course, is with open aperture. It's got the famous OM bayonet. And all in all, it's a very elegant and very easy to use little camera. So I'm not sure if I can pull off this one, because as you can see there's a lot of color going on here, and of course I'm gonna lose all the color in black and white.